Alrighty, fellas, we're back, and we got the data mines here for the upcoming banner that literally we just got the trailer for. Alright, so courtesy of PM1, we have the very lovely infographic, which always makes my life easier. So shoutouts to PM1, of course. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here. We're going to start with legendary Corrin, since she is first on the list. So Primordial Breath, 16 might, 1 range, HP up 3, -1 special trigger. If enemy's range is 2, calculates damage using the lower of foe's defense or res. Okay, so adaptive damage. I like how they start with that. Usually that's all the way at the bottom, but okay. If foe initiates combat, or if foe's HP is over 75% at the start of combat, grants all stats of 5 to unit, grants special acceleration on hit per unit's attack, and also reduces damage from foe's first attack by 7 during combat. First attack normally means only the first strike, but in this case, it also works on brave attacks. That's really good when you combo that with negating Fang 2. So, the only real change here, everything seems to be the same. The all stats, the -1, the acceleration, and then this was added here. So they gave her 7 points of true damage on the enemy's brave attack and their first attack. So that's very good. At the start of turn 1, if foe's attack can trigger unit special, grant special cooldown count -2. We all saw that a mile away. Of course, they're going to give her built-in shield pulse. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants all stats of 4 to unit during combat, neutralizes effects that inflict guard on unit during combat, and reduces damage from attacks during combat and AoEs by 30%, and recovers 7 HP to unit after combat. So it's a pretty well-rounded refine here. This isn't going to be as overwhelming as what Seliph got, I don't think, because they also tacked on, like, Null Sea Disrupt on that guy, which is pretty good. All of his DR is pierceable, though, whereas this Corrin does not have pierceable DR, really. The 30% one is pierceable, but negating Fang is non-pierceable, and this true points of 7 DR is non-pierceable. So she's going to be pretty tanky against brave attacks specifically. As far as, like, regular attacks that have maybe effective damage or do a lot of damage without needing to rely on brave attacks, that's where she's going to end up taking the most damage. Also, like, pre-combat damage, the melt meta. Units like the new Camilla and also Gulvags and things like that. Units that melt are really hard to tank. So this is good. Certainly a good remix here, but let's keep going. Let's see what else everyone else got. Okay, Lilina's the one that I'm the most excited for because she's a Cav range type. So we got here 14 might, 2 range, -1 special trigger. At the start of turn, if special cooldown count is at its maximum value, grants special cooldown count -1 to unit. Okay, so she just auto-charges her special. She already did that. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants attack and res up 6 to unit during combat, and disables units and foes' skills that change attack priority. Once again, she already had that as the built-in Hardy Bearing effect. One of the rare effects that really make this Lilina a very interesting unit. It's not often that we get Hardy Bearing on units, so, like, this is very clutch. Also, if unit initiates combat or is in 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack and res up 5 to unit during combat. Unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack, deals damage equal to 15% of unit's res, and reduces damage from foe's first attack by 30% during combat. Okay, so all of this, when comboed with 4 Blaze 2, or Gifted Magic 2, I think this is pretty solid. So, Gifted Magic, what did that do again? I think it gained, like, some extra damage. It's no longer 80% of her attack for the AoE calculation. It's full 100% now. So, that went up a little bit in terms of damage, and then she's getting true damage based on res over here. She's getting also attack and res up 6 over there. I think she had that already, though. And then we're getting another attack and res up 5. Yeah, it's solid. I mean, it's not breaking the mold or breaking the meta, but it's solid. Definitely a pretty good refine there. Okay, so we have the baby Merric up next. I actually really like Merric, so hopefully this is good. Okay, Winds of Change, 14 might, 2 range, effective against flying, -1 special trigger. If a bonus is active on unit, or if unit's HP is over 50% at the start of combat, grants attack and speed up 5 to unit during combat. Neutralizes effects that guarantee foes follow-ups and prevent his own follow-ups during combat, so no follow-up. And deals damage equal to 15% of unit's speed. Okay, so they added that part, the 15% bonus damage based on speed. I'm pretty sure he had the attack and speed up 5 and the null follow-up already. as well as the effective damage in the -1. So let's see what the effect refine does. If unit initiates combat or is in 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack and speed up 5 to unit, neutralizes effects that inflict guard on unit, and neutralizes foes' bonuses to speed and res. Ooh. And let's see here. During combat, and also when unit's special triggers, neutralizes foes' DR effects from non-special skills. Okay, so they also gave him DR nullification with... What was his called again? Like Healing Wind or something? Like something Wind was the name of his special. Very interesting. So he nullifies DR when he triggers his special. He's got built-in tempo. Well, not full tempo, but just like nullify guard. He's got half of lull, where he's doing the negation of the enemy's speed and res bonuses. Another attack and speed of 5. This is pretty solid. But again, I mean, there's plenty of units that do stuff like this already. And he has to trigger the special for this to activate, which kind of sucks. It's not that it's a bad thing or anything, but like, if he's up against enemies that have Scowl, or enemies that are, like, able to reset specials, like if they have Pulse Tie, or if they have Baby Ike or Baby Mark to just turn off specials, like... Doing it with specials now is starting to get a little questionable with all the Scowl effects and things, so it would have been better if it was on hit. He just, like, nullified DR, but whatever. Alright, let's go on. Let's take a look at Leila up next. Okay, Leila's a very interesting one with her support ability. So hopefully they buffed her. I mean, she's going to need quite a lot to be able to compete with Yuri. So grants speed up 3. If unit initiates combat or is in 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack and speed up 5 to unit during combat and deals damage equal to 10% of her speed, excluding when doing AoE specials, and also if her speed is better than the foe's speed, or if she's in 2 spaces of her support partner, then she gets Fire Sweep. Okay. So Fire Sweep based on speed there, or 2 spaces of support ally. If unit initiates combat or rather, if unit initiates combat and unit is in 2 spaces of support partner, unit and support partner swap spaces after combat. If unit is in 2 spaces of more than 1 support partner, then the swap does not occur. So this is like basically her version of, what was Yuri's thing called again? Foul Play, where she attacks the enemies and after she attacks, then she swaps. The bad thing about this is that it's nullified by save skills. So, like, if she attacks an enemy and they are protected by save, she's not able to swap because for whatever reason they thought it was a good idea that attacking save units would nullify all after-combat movement effects. So, things like Close Call, Hit and Run, Lunge, all that stuff does not work on save skills, and this is no exception, unfortunately. Also, at the start of turn, inflicts speed and defense -6 and Discord on closest foes within 5 spaces, and any foe in 2 spaces of those foes through the next action. Okay, that's good. We're getting a start-a-turn debuff effect there with a very good radius of effect, as well as chaining to other enemies. At the start of combat, if her HP is over 25%, grants another attack and speed of 5, and inflicts special, or grants special cooldown acceleration per hit during combat. And after combat, if unit initiated combat and attack, deals 7 damage to target and foes in 2 spaces. I mean, they didn't really fix the underlying issue with her, which is the swap effect. She needed this, or what she really needed was to nullify saves. Like, when she attacks the foe, they can't use saves to protect themselves. So, like, maybe give her a new, like, start-a-turn bonus called Espionage, or whatever they want to call that, where you can just attack the foes and they can't save. I don't know, the debuff is nice, the Discord and the speed and defense is nice, but, like, what I said, like, they did not fix her issue. They just gave, like, some extra stats, some more damage, some acceleration on hit. It's not really what she needed. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Let's see here. We got Ferdinand von Aegir up next. Okay, so he is a 3-star demote. Hopefully this is good. Stout Heart Lance, 16 might, 1 range, HP up 3. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants all stats up X to unit during combat, where X is the current penalty on each of those stats times 2 plus 4. So if unit has -7 to attack, then grants attack up 18 for a net bonus of 11. And that calculates each stat independently. Yeah, so he's built in Unity, pretty much. Yeah, so Legendary Robin is going to be his best friend, basically. So he's another Echidna. basically. And the following effects will occur based on unit's HP at the start of combat. So if unit's HP is over 50%, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up. If unit's HP is over 75%, deals 7 damage during combat as well, except when dealing damage with AoE specials. Okay. If unit initiates combat or is in 2 spaces of an ally, grants all stats of 4 to unit, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 40%, and foe cannot make a follow-up attack during combat. Also recovers 7 HP to unit after combat. Yeah, he's just a stat ball. It's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, he is a 3-star demote, so... Yeah, looking at his base stats, they're a bit low. Like, we would have needed his base stats to be a little bit better for, like, this to really start to come into play. But for what it is, I think this is fair. He's about on par with units like Thea and Echidna when they got their refines. Maybe Echidna's a little better, but... I mean, we're definitely taking an effect like this. Unity built in is a very strong effect. So giving that to a demote, I'll definitely take that. Okay, we got Baby Minerva up next. So, Tempest Trial unit here. A lot of people picked her up with the Form of Soul, by the way, so hopefully this is good. So, Dragoon Axe, 16 might, 1 range, HP up 3, -1 special trigger. If foe initiates combat or foe's HP is over 75% at the start of combat, grants all stats of 4 to unit and inflicts guard on foe per attack during combat, and recovers 7 HP to unit after combat. So they added healing there, and they added another effect onto her being able to get the all stats of 4, which is if the enemy initiates combat. It would have been better if she initiated combat and she just got it, but okay. Alright, also at the start of turn, if unit's HP... or if unit is in 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack and speed up 6, and the following status to unit and allies in 2 spaces for 1 turn. Oh, okay. Grants special acceleration on hit during combat, and that's pretty much it. Okay, that's a pretty rare effect, to be honest. Like, not too many units do this. It's like Legendary Hinoka and Refined Na, and that's about it. There might be, like, 1 or 2 others that I'm not remembering, but this is a pretty rare effect to just get, like, acceleration on hit as a start-of-turn bonus. So we'll definitely take that, and the attack and speed up 6, pretty nice. So support effects, we always take those. And then if unit is in 3 spaces of an ally, grants all stats of 4 to unit, and neutralizes effects that guarantee foes follow-ups and prevent units follow-ups. So we got null follow-up there, and another all stats of 4. I mean, honestly, like... this ain't really changing much for her, to be honest. The support is really the only thing that's here. And the support is cool, but, like... ugh. What would have been really nice is if we got some warping or, like, some other added effect on here. Like, maybe triangle attack or something. Like, just anything to give her more playability. Like, another support effect would have been good. Okay, it is what it is. Alright, let's go ahead and wrap us up with Kiria over here. Or not Kiria, Kiria. My bad there. I got Pokemon on the brain, apparently. Okay, so Mirage Rod, 14 might and 2 range, grants attack up 3, inflicts attack and res -6 on the foes in 2 spaces during combat. So that's a rain effect. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack and reduces damage from foe's follow-up attack by 75%. Follow-up and not the original attack, huh? Follow-up attack normally means second strike, but in this case, it's also the brave attacks. So, all right, well, she's going to need some DR on the first hit to go with that. At the start of turn, inflicts attack and res -6 and sabotage on foes in 3 columns of 3 rows centered on unit through the next actions. Pretty good debuff there. And also, if the foe initiates combat or if foe's HP is over 75% at the start of combat, inflicts attack and res -5 on the foe during combat. Deals damage equal to 15% of unit's attack and recovers 7 HP to unit after combat. So, basically, they want you to run her with Mirror Strike, so you're... or Remote Mirror, I think it's called, where you get attack and res up 7 and then 30% initiate DR. And then also, I guess, Fleeting Echo. Like, they want you to use those skills on her to get her DR for the first attack so she can really follow up with this afterwards. It's okay. The debuff here is really nice. The attack and res and sabotage on 3 columns and 3 rows. Pretty wide radius of effect there. It's okay, but, like, that's about it. I mean, a lot of these are just, like, okay, and that's about it. There's nothing here that's breaking the mold. I think in practice, like, Corrin's probably going to be the most relevant because she's got non-pierceable DR. But, like, in terms of practicality, Lilina being a ranged cavalry type is really good. How much more damage is she going to be able to do, though? Like, are you going to be able to run, like, Flared Sparrow on her? Well, maybe not Flared Sparrow, but... What's the other one? Flared Mirror, I think? The one that does attack and res, and then you would give her Occult Strike. So, like, you can really, really pile on a lot of start-of-turn damage there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm sleeping a little on Corrin, because, like, she's getting a lot of protection from Brave attacks. And she does have the combo of Acceleration and Nullify Guard, so, like, she's going to be able to re-up Negating Fang pretty consistently with that. So, yeah. Also, her B slot was just opened up for free because she has Shield Pulse built in there. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about these refines. They seem, like, okay, but not, like, anything insane like sometimes we get. A little disappointing with that, but it is what it is. So, I will catch you guys again in just a sec when we take a look at the rest of the data mines.